We're leaving the Black Hills. You've been amazing. Until next time, because we will be back. So I like to make these travel day videos because I want to show people the route that we took so you can see the roads, bridges, hills, basically just the conditions of the road, because that was one of the really big question marks that we always had on this big cross-country road trip was, all right, can it accommodate my RV? Or, are they doing construction? Or are there any bridges or tunnels? Blah, blah, blah. So, hope you enjoy this. This is the Black Hills to Cody, Wyoming. So leaving the Black Hills, we started making our way to Cody, and the scenery started changing pretty quickly. The mountains started fading away, and everything around us seemed to get flatter, wider, and more open. It was one of those drives where you could look out in every direction and just see space, pretty much. I mean, as far as our eyes could see, it was just flat land. In North Carolina, we have so many trees, and you can only see so far until the trees obstruct your view. The sky is just so big here. We decided to take a longer, more southern route so we could avoid going through the Bighorn Mountains. Originally, our plan was to go 16 through the Bighorn Mountains, but Wyoming decided to get their monsoonal rainstorms on this day. So instead of doing that, we decided that it was best to avoid those really steep hills and turns as much as possible. Our new route was a bit longer and took us through places like Shoshone, Thermopolis, Meeteetse, and eventually towards Cody. I was a little sad to not be going through the Bighorn Mountains because in pictures and videos it just looks so beautiful, but we actually ended up being pleasantly surprised going this route. Check it out. The Laramie Mountains, I think that's what it is. You know it's tall when you can see a mountain over a mountain. Cool rest area. Right before we get on 25 to head towards Casper. do you think about that?
It's tall. Flat and then tall.
We eventually stumbled onto something we were not expecting at all. The Wind River Canyon. We had absolutely no idea that we were going to be driving through this canyon, and so it was a pretty incredible surprise. After spending so much time in the wide open, flat country, suddenly we're surrounded by these massive canyon walls, and it was definitely one of those moments where you just have to stop and take it all in. We rounded a corner in Shoshone, and then these mountains just jutted up, and we kind of thought to ourselves, are we taking a better route than the Bighorn Mountains? But it ended up being beautiful, and instead of going over the mountains, you basically went through it, so that was pretty neat. Speaking of wide open, Wyoming absolutely delivered on that. We passed through a town called Lost Springs, which had a sign showing a population of 6 people. 6! After seeing that, it really hit home just how remote some of these places are. One thing we also noticed along the way was how nice the rest areas were in Wyoming. They all have these sheltered concrete picnic tables that are perfect for travelers to pull over, get out, stretch their legs, and take a break. Especially if you have a baby like we do. It was really nice to be able to have lunch somewhere that you were not cooped up inside. I love how much Wyoming and South Dakota really cater to travelers. You can definitely tell these are both really big tourism states, and they show that they really care about that. So shout out Wyoming to those really nice rest areas.
Back to Red Rocks.
Coming out of the Wind River Canyon, that was an epic drive. Followed the river the whole time. Grades were not bad. That was fun, driving through there. So if you're going from the Black Hills to Cody, it's a little bit longer, but you still get epic views. We did run into a little rain along the way because of those monsoonal rainstorms, but thankfully it wasn't anything too bad. Just past Thermopolis, we actually hit some road construction. Quote unquote road construction. I mean, the road actually disappeared. It turned into really just a gravel dirt road. So we weren't expecting that, but we just took it slow and it was fine. So that added a little excitement to the day. Eventually, we made our way all the way through this incredible Wyoming scenery and continued towards Cody. By the time we finally called it a day, we had actually driven 474 miles. So this made it our longest travel day of the entire trip so far, and we felt every bit of it. It was a long travel day, but it was also one of those drives where the scenery kept changing, the unexpected kept popping up, and Wyoming just kept surprising us. And after all those miles, we were definitely ready to see what Cody had waiting for us. Stay tuned for the next video.